Hi everyone, so I'm doing a reading on Karen Read's case, Boston. So what do I know about this? This is disclaimer for entertainment purposes only. Please use your own discernment and fact finding. Karen Read was dating. Her boyfriend was a Boston police officer. Let me just look at the date because I don't know that. Now, those of you that are following this read might find this a bit irritating, but I'm going in this blind. I've heard of it. What I've heard of it at the date, I don't know. Maybe it's 2022. They were out going to different bars. I don't know what day. This would have been maybe the weekend. And then she left early, did she? Did she drop him off somewhere? I can't remember. And she went back home, so would it have been his apartment? I'm not sure. But then what she's been accused of is, as she drove off, she hit her boyfriend, ran him over and left him to die in the cold intentionally. Or maybe, I think that's what the prosecutor's saying, but maybe, there's some doubt that it might have been unintentionally. She'd been drinking and was drunk, and when she decided to go home, maybe she left him at the party and they were stood talking, or she dropped him off to another party, or there was a house party, whatever, and maybe they had a fight, or she intentionally, because she was drinking, hit him and ran him over and then left him to die. I think he was found near his house of living, so I wonder if there was going to be a house party or something, or they came back towards his house and then he was going somewhere else. I don't know, it's just something around that. And the defense is saying actually there's more to this, that it's a setup, she's being staged, that John O'Keefe was actually possibly unalived by someone else, or police officers or something else, and the police officers are trying to cover up whatever happened, whether they were involved in it or not. I've got the date was the 29th of January 2022, so 2022 is right. That date for me is quite a loving date. It's like a union year, and also I feel like there's a feminine figure on that date that's very potent. Obviously it can be Karen Read, whether she did it intentionally or not. So that's what I know about it. Okay, I don't know if was he the same age as her, or were they younger, or did they know each other prior? I don't know why I'm getting something about younger. Now, I've seen pictures of Karen Read, and I know it's on trial, and yesterday I was actually gonna jump into the trial to see it, because it landed up and I just put it on. And then I thought, let me do a reading. But what I feel here is that there's two very strong camps that she did do it. And I don't know if those camps are mainly intentionally or unintentionally, or a mix. And a camp that she's totally innocent. So I feel like there's very strong different opinions in this case already. I've never seen her on trial crying or anything, but I don't understand. So that, like, when the thumbnails come up, I've never seen anything that Karen Read is breaking down or something like that. But maybe she's cried during the trial. If not, that is a bit strange to me. The whole story is really strange. I think there was mention that she hit another car, his car, in the morning when looking for him with the tail light? Or was it that she hit him and the tail light broke and there's tail light glass near him? Originally what the story was before it goes to trial. So that's a question for me. I heard something about scratches as well. So I just think that if there's scratches on his arms, it's going to be very clear whether it's from a human, or whether it's from a knife or a fight, or whether it was from a dog. I think that's very clear. And I wonder if they're holding on to DNA around that, because I don't think that's been announced, but I think there's something they're holding back on that. I don't know why I'm getting that. And maybe after this reading I look at it, but I think like looking at the scratches is going to be quite evident. I'm getting that in terms of whether it was or not. I presume that there's been talks about them having fights, not getting on, maybe third-party relationships, just arguing, whether that was constant in the relationship or whether they were coming to an end in the relationship. I don't know. I didn't see. So I presume that the defense, Karen's lawyers, are mainly talking. Has she actually taken to the stand to state anything? If so, if you put a link, I'd love to see that. And if she has been on trial, and whether you think she's guilty or not, if she has broken down, can I just see a link to that? So let's just start off with the tarot, easing into it. So I don't know much, quite blind, that's all I know, and the date I told you as well. Cards are very hard to shuffle, very scattered energy. Okay, so here we get definitely something happened around the home. I am getting that there is clear DNA in this. What I was saying in the beginning, I think there's clear DNA on this. There's something about the facts that really need looking into. So maybe is it the timing around things that really need to be looked into, because they're going to connect the dots to have a revelation in here. So it's not about research, about, I would say, maybe timelines. I think DNA is being held back. This hand that's holding the cards is really heavy. Oh look, we've got the Sun card that's here up the dot at the front. The King of Swords and the World card. Eeks. To me, this would be currently leaning on. So here, I feel like there is going to be victory for her. I feel like there is authority involvement. Let's just look at these cards. Were they hanging out from people from, like, for example, his school days? Like, there were people he knew or they knew from childhood or school or the neighborhood they'd grown up in. Something about that I'm getting coming through here. And then there was this kind of like epiphany or movement around the home. And it kind of brought through some restless energy around clarity of a situation or communication. Now, was there other like cops and officers partying with them or out drinking with them that day? Here we've also going, someone who was not actually stuck where they are, but was waiting on something. And then we've got the Magician. To me, so far through these cards of just asking what's happened to Johnokeefe, the energy for me is more leaning towards a higher energy of police officers, authorities are either present at this party or where they're hanging out, or the time of what happened to him. And I feel at the time of what happened to him. I don't know why I'm really getting uneasy with reading this reading. For some reason I was okay. Energies being held back. We've got the Two of Wands here. We've got the Three of Wands. So something was coming towards someone which helped them feel not so helpless and not a victim. What was coming to towards this person had all the answers and everything they needed, and it was like there was a divine timing that this needed to happen. A divine timing that this needed to happen. It was like kind of waiting on a certain time point, and then it was kind of like go. Let's just see. I want to use this card deck, but it's seeming to be a bit heavy. Let's continue. I'm only taking cards that fall out, or if I'm called to pick the card if Spirit says. Queen of Cups in reverse, Seven of Cups, and Ace of Pentacles. There was drinking here. So what happened to him? There was some drinking involved. I do feel like this is this could be a feminine who's quite emotionally narcissistic. Okay, it's someone who's not in the right frame of mind of their emotions. They're suppressing emotions. They're feeling insecure. There could be emotional blackmail here, like irrationality. And then we've got rose tinted glasses here, not seeing clearly. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which could be around the home or around money is being involved here. So we've gone from the energy of mainly the police and authorities being at the forefront, and now we've got a female who's not acting in her rational mind, not emotionally balanced. We've got overwhelm and confusion. Alcohol is here, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Let's just pull on that Ace of Pentacles. This is a complex case. This is a very complex case. There was insight towards something. There was insight towards on something, and it was kind of like taking a new beginning around something. Let's go to these cards a moment. again, I get a bit of a narcissistic energy here. I've just reminded this could be actually Karen going back home to sleep. But I wonder if also they argued that night, not even only before, around one of them accusing the other of wanting to be single, and maybe being a bit like wanting to have attention or attracting attention or having a fling or flirting. And so one of them wasn't really having any of it, like when the other one was saying either yes or no or whatever, one of them just was not having any of it. And maybe that was the emotional instability of the female energy here, which can be male, and then there's alcohol involved. I do think they had a conflict. There was a conflict. But I feel like with that conflict, someone's got insight to something. At the time of Karenread going back to sleep or leaving the place. By the way, you know, when I've looked at her energy, does she have like, this is not going to be obvious, but I feel like she's got like a generative neurogenerative. There's like, I feel like she's got like a I don't want to say vascular, that's not even a word, neurovascular, is it a word? Neurodegenerative, something about nervous system. I feel like she's not twitchy, but she's, and I don't think it makes her act, I think if she gets highly stressed, it might make her twitchy. I don't know, I think there's something around either muscle degeneration via nerves, or nerve degeneration or impulse there. There's something, she's got some kind of, and as I'm doing this, I don't know why I'm rubbing my third eye, which is taking me to this, but I don't know if that's Spirit trying to get me to download some channeling messages here right now. And when I've got the camera on, I tend to be very consumed or cautious and anxious at the time of people watching me, so it's very difficult to just pause and listen for a moment, but I'm going to try and do that for a minute. Feel a lot of pressure in O'Keefe's head. What was he pronounced unalive by the way? Was it bleeding to death? What was it? Because, okay, she ran him over, but what is it? Cardiac arrest, or what was it exactly? I feel like she's confused about what happened that night, but it's like her intuition is telling her something. And there's a larger circle of a conflict here, not just the conflict they had. So even if they've had relationship trouble, there was a larger conflict. And to me, I feel like, let me get more cards, but I feel like she was actually back home in bed when some of this happened. When you see these cards, you need to read on it further, but let's go ahead. Okay, so I asked a question and I asked for this card to pop out. Was she in bed and not involved? I mean by that, Johnokeefe's unaliving, and the card came out yes. All right. I am going to ask that again. My head is killing me. What is it about the glass as well? The tail-light glass was found at the car she hit, which was Johnokeefe's. But was the tail-light glass where he is? And if there was, when we think of common knowledge, if you hit a human, I think she's got an SUV, would that tail light really break? Because she would have been next to him, right? She's not like got him on a highway standing about, what, half a mile away, so she can put on full blast and then hit him. That might cause maybe a bit of enough pressure to break a tail light of an SUV. But other than that, okay, if you hit a car, yes, but if you hit the human, would it? Is there something about other glass being there? Let's just put this up. She's never actually been arrested, has she? So she hasn't been like held in jail or anything. You know how some people are held in jail until they have their hearings. I'm not saying she should. I mean, we can see from the cards right now what I just asked. It's insane to think these things happen. But I do think there's evidence being held back. And I think there's something about the scratches and DNA. It's just not making sense. Surely, are they saying it was hair scratches? If so, there should be DNA there, no? But I feel, and if it's not hair scratches, is someone's DNA there from a thing? But if it's a dog, there should be dog DNA or something that points towards that. Let's just ask a couple of questions. I need to put these back because I'm looking for one more card to make the 3 that I asked for. I need to put these back. I need 3 cards only, okay? To make sure that we get precising. Okay, let me tell you what I'm getting, and then I'm going to ask the next question. Did she intentionally kill Johnokeefe? No. Okay. Here we got the healing card, the star card that came out. but it came out with another card, and so I shuffled again. I took another card, and I wanted the major arcana, either the star card or another major that I called upon. It didn't fall out, so we got a no. Here I said, when I first shuffled, I got 4 cards. It did have a major, but I've asked for 3 cards along the way to keep it. Did she unintentionally, forget the reversals, did she unintentionally kill Johnokeefe? I got no majors that I'd asked for. I asked for 4 particular majors, or the same element of those majors. Okay. Then I asked, did a police officer kill Johnokeefe? We got, again, I asked for 4 different major arcanas from these as well, and we got none. Then I asked to understand who might have killed him. And what I'm getting here is that it could be someone younger than him. So how old was he? It looks like they're in their late 30s. She looks like she's in her 40s. From his picture, he looks like late 30s, but I don't really know. I'm getting some younger energy here, which is interesting. But I do want to pull on that card again. It's someone that is around the neighborhood, knows the neighborhood, knows where he lives, knows people in the neighborhood, knows his family. Again, I wonder if this is a small community, small population area. I know it's Boston, but maybe the area is small. It seems like it's someone that knows the community. But also here, I'm kind of pulled to someone that seemed to be, again, this helpless person that was kind of held, feeling hopeless and a victim. And I wonder if a person who was younger was coming to the rescue in the community. And instead of this going to plan, it went totally wrong. And maybe this is where Johnokeefe came in and got involved into something that could have been a son, a daughter of someone. Maybe they are in the connection, in a high up connection, or in the justice or in the authoritative section. Because here we've got the world card where the plan didn't go as needed. There was shortcuts needed. There was, and maybe at first this was planned to be done early, but maybe because they had an argument, she left, they couldn't do it at that time. But definitely here, something's happened with someone else. This is feeling very a young, sinister energy here. But at the same time, I feel like this person, although it might have been to Johnokeefe quite a negative energy, they were trying to help in some kind of situation here. I feel like behind this person, they either hold quite a bit of power themselves, or they have people behind them that hold power. Let me just get some cards here and understand something. Cards dropped on the floor. Look, we've got the Magician. Again, a younger energy. I need to see the card that's on the floor. 1 minute, please. Sorry. Four of Cups. Yeah, there was something else definitely going on here. I've just lost what I was going to channel. I don't know why I'm getting this, but did he have a glass in his hand? I wondered if something was put in his drink, but he didn't drink it. He didn't drink it. This is them out celebrating, partying. But I feel like he was in a he wasn't like going off the rails. I feel like he's in a more tempered kind of energy. Why do I feel like there was younger people there? There's younger energy here. Either way, I feel like everyone knows. And I feel like Karen has an idea who this is. Or what could go down. Like, do you know how you start to know people in the neighborhood and so is this and so and that. So when something like this happens, it's kind of like, oh, so it could be that so and so whatever because they were going through this. But I wonder if there's also in this is kind of like, how could I put this? I'm not sure if it's around negative money being offered, invested somewhere. Maybe they were having bets that night, but there's disharmony, there's miscommunication, there's the struggle in a relationship here. But I think that's the disharmony around. I mean, if they had an after party at a home, something happened there. Something happened there and people know. I also feel like not everyone is telling the same facts, or there's missing facts. And I wonder if there's someone that they feel is not abusing their power or overpowering, but maybe kind of like well respected, so they don't question that person's integrity or something like that. Call to look at the bottom of the deck, the Sagittarius card again. Page 4, a lot of youthful energy, a lot of youthful energy. Now, I think there was someone there who's dating someone a lot younger. The man is younger. And that story went wrong. Did he witness this? Yes, justice. He's seen this, whatever's gone down. There's also something about a glass and his drink. I don't think they saw him, but I wonder if he stepped out with a glass and was pouring the drink out on the ground or something around that. The thing is, who's there apart from the cops or the people that took the dispatch call? Is anyone going to say? There must have been friends there. Did they notice anything, whether it was time Karen was there or not? I don't understand. Sun, there will be, yes, so Spirit's telling me yes, light will be shown on this. There is people that were there. You know, I think there was a bit of a fight going on. There was a breakup of a relationship possibly. Maybe also Karen that evening felt like he was turning her back on him, or he was turning his back on him. Why did I say that in a muddled way? Is it because it's the opposite way? Does she say she's gone back home because she was just feeling really, really drunk and she needed to go sleep? Or did she go back home because they had an argument? Does anyone know? This was going to be a 10-minute video. Okay, this becomes interesting. Her energy towards Johnokeefe was... I feel like this is not showing necessarily the love, but it's showing her energy that night. They were celebrating, they were out with a group of friends, a fight happened, and then that was the end of Johnokeefe, and it was the end of their chapter together. That's her energy towards Johnokeefe, which is basically a very summarized way of probably their relationship and their chapter of life together. But I'm strucken by the sun that's going to be shedding the light on his unaliving here. Okay, let's see his energy towards Karenread overall. It's really strange. Having said that, I'm not saying she's guilty, but it's also really strange because I've said I don't think I've seen her very emotional, and I'm not getting, like, when I ask what is her overall energy to Johnokeefe, I feel like she's just had enough now. Because I don't see like she's still mourning heartache or love here. But should we pull 2 more cards and see what comes out? Maybe Spirit wanted to tell that story as fast. I asked for 3 cards though, so that's the most important, is kind of like I don't think she's got the feelings there at the moment. Only 2 more cards, please, Spirit. That's a bunch of cards, so I need to go. Okay, yeah, so a bit of negative emotions about, probably because what chapter this has brought to her life, but not wanting to heal, not wanting to let go of the past, and at the moment with the energy of the trial that would make sense. But I really find it a bit weird she's not emotional about this. Like, if I was dating someone I loved, unless he did cheat on her, unless there was massive argument, unless there was a breakup in the end of the night and they just really had enough of each other, but again, I just feel like there would be emotions. Even at the trial, you're kind of reliving everything again, and it must have caused so much frantic energy for you. It's just a bit weird. But we have got the heart, split the deck, we've got the King of Wands. I think she's in a very kind of need to hold my ground kind of energy. I need to really burn everything to do with this and make sure I come out on top. And I don't mean that in an egotistic way, but that's kind of her focus, and maybe that's why her emotions, she's like kind of standing in power. I don't know if that's how she comes across. Yeah, it looks holding on, trying to hold on as well. Interesting, we've got the Queen of Swords upright, which is like quite a cold energy, and just really focused and determined for the outcome that you want. We've got it here. And like I said, that Three of Swords is really is needing to heal and being stuck, obviously, in a certain way, in this negative. Well, it's a bit, if we take it from here, it's a bit of a story, isn't it? And she is stuck because they're going on trial, but also, what part did everyone play in this whole chapter? Whether you were involved, whether you was intentionally involved, whether you wasn't, etc. Maybe there's something that could have been changed prior to this day. What have I learned from this chapter? There's something where she's not healed process. She's not seeing the part in the loss or heartbreak that she might have played. And I don't mean she's guilty here. I mean, we've just read on the cards, and the reason I've done this reading is obviously for very specific reasons. Let's see Johnokeefe's energy towards her, and then one last time I'm going to ask who unalived him. I feel like there's an energy of somebody who's not even being questioned or prosecuted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think beyond the police, there's either a tier below that in family kind of thing, or there's someone else there. I do feel that there's a feminine energy that knows a bit more than what they're letting on to as well. Oh, this is sweet. This is interesting. So his energy towards her, I think he feels like, is it him? Let's just check. Yeah, so he could have been up to something, okay? He could have been up to something. You know, she's accused him of something. But at the same time, he did see her as kind of like his long-term stability. I don't know if they know each other from the past, but kind of like soulmate energy. He was a police officer, we get that energy here. But also he felt betrayed by her. There's a betrayal here, he feels. And that's why I clarified the Seven of Swords to see, is it him or is it her that he feels she was? He feels there was a bit of a betrayal from her in some way. Two more cards. Page of Swords in reverse and the Chariot. Emotional immaturity he felt sometimes. It's interesting, we've got a car involved here. Yeah, so I would say irrationality, a little bit of emotional immaturity at times, and where she might just take off and leave the place or leave the home, just go in her car and be like, I'm done, I'm going again. And that was kind of her kind of energy. You know, if she got upset, she could be a bit like in nervous energy, she could be like emotionally not balanced. And I don't mean this in a very irrational way, but do you know when you're also arguing and it's kind of emotional immaturity, and there's less action, but there's more dishonesty in the words, and so you just take your car and leave because you're not happy, but actually you didn't really want to leave or end it or whatever you said. You actually wanted to work on it a little bit more often. She might have had like, is this where alcohol made it worse? I think this is saying that they were trying to make it work. There was a lot of confusion around their relationship. You never know with these things, do you? I mean, the way people... Okay, I'm going to take from this deck. I'm told to use these two decks, so I'm going to. Show me clearly, please, Spirit. Show me clearly. Wow, I said about a female, didn't I? It's connected to his work. Yeah. A lot of people know, by the way, and a lot more people involved. And we've got the younger energy, we've got the older energy, we've got the middle-aged energy here. Okay, let me just ask a question. That was the fourth card. I'm not taking it. 2, 3. Yeah, so we keep, look, if I said 4 and I asked for the Tower, I asked for the Death card, I asked for another 2 major arcanas, her presence was there. Her presence is in the energy, but she wasn't directly involved in the unaliving. I wonder if she was, it's kind of like it was set up that she's there. Like she wasn't in, like she was there. 1 second. This was set up. It was set up. I mean, I've got how many major arcanas? It was set up. I think also they knew they were having relationship troubles, or they were splitting, or she left, she wasn't happy. So did she leave because she'd had too much to drink and she said she was tired and I'll see you at home, sweetheart? Or did she leave because they had an argument? I'm going to ask one last time, was it set up? Yes, it was a setup. And that's why her energy keeps coming in some way. I think I've asked everything. Look out for them holding on to DNA. I don't think, from what I'm getting in this reading, they've not discussed DNA yet. Something about glass as well. Something about it not going according to plan. Maybe that's what they were trying to give him. Where did they go after she left? Where was it? I also feel, I know they say he was found outside. Was he found outside his home? Like, was it at the door? Because she ran him over. So if she was dropping him at a party and she ran him over, that means that that party was going to be at his house and she was going back to her house. Or was it going to be at a neighbour's party? And so she dropped him off at the neighbours and what, he was walking home? Or is it next door? There's something about where his body lied that will be able to tell you a little bit more as well. To connect anything that's being a bit deceptive in this story. Anyway, everyone, if you enjoyed this reading, we asked double confirmations. I'm happy to do it again, but you know, very clear. I think I do have more questions. Maybe I'll look a little bit more into the case. Take care and see you on the next one. Bye for now.